Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today, we are covering Killer Whale, which specifically the one that came out in 2026, or 2025? Recently, the most recent Killer Whale movie.
Are there multiple?
Yeah. There's one in 1962. I can't remember. I think that's the one where the killer whale watches her baby get killed by some fishermen, and she goes on a killing spree. I know there's one like that. I don't remember if it's actually called Killer Whale or something else, but it was after Jaws.
2026. This one came out 2026.
Okay. Thank you. But yeah, before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea. You okay there?
I'm sorry, I was looking up Killer Whale and one other one popped up, and it's a 1962 movie.
Yeah.
And it says a fishing village is terrorized by a giant whale and the fishermen are determined to kill it. A Japanese variation of the Moby Dick story. But it has a humpback whale as the whale on the picture.
Oh, so maybe it's not an orca then? I wonder which one.
Very confused.
The orca movie I'm thinking of came out around the same time as Jaws, because I think they're trying to capitalize on it, on that hype. But
I bet it was called Orca. There's a couple different ones called Orca.
Anyways, we deeply digress. So for tea, I am drinking the Republic of Tea, and I will admit I was rushed and I didn't pay attention to what tea I grabbed. I'm like, oh, a hibiscus tea. This sounds good. Well, apparently it's for cold brew. So I don't know how it's going to taste with me drinking it in hot water, but
I know the exact one you're talking about. Because I remember looking at it when I was over there and being like, oh, that sounds yummy. If we had the time.
Well, and how rude. They don't have the list of ingredients, but I at least know that it's got hibiscus in it. And blackberry iced tea. So it's got caffeine. I didn't want caffeine. I didn't plan for this. What are you drinking?
Like everybody else, I'm drinking my normal Twinings pure peppermint, and it's got spearmint. And
you're a liar.
Oh, good, you can. Yeah, it's legitimately just peppermint in a tea bag.
Yeah. But for our very patient tea sippers out there, for yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So Killer Whale. I guess it's well, I'll go with the overarching main story on what the movie is about. And that's okay, so there's this killer whale named Sito, and they don't really show it on camera, but they talk about it multiple times where she had a baby and something happened to that baby. And she's upset about it. And so Sito...
And blames humans because she's been in captivity for 20 years.
Yes. And so if you go into her tank, she will
Unalive you.
Yes.
Also, if you go too near the tank where she can
Yes.
potentially get you.
Yes. Well, after she killed one too many people, the park was like, screw this, we're gonna get rid of her. And so, out of the entire ocean, they put her in, I don't know what you call that, like a enclave or what? It's like, it's in the
See,
ocean, but
I
it's
don't,
got a
I
circle.
don't know.
It's
Mm,
the circle of rocks, so she's still technically trapped.
mm, well, we'll get into that
Yes,
later
yes.
because I got so many issues with this.
Okay, but point so
Yeah.
that's the overarching story. There's of course, with main character motivations, they go through like stories of the main character's boyfriend getting killed, but we'll cover that later. But anyway, so for entertainment, I give it a 7.25. Like, I feel like, there's so many of these types of movies, they're just involving a shark more than a killer whale. There's not very many killer whale or orca ones, but
There's very few actually.
yes. But so I was really comparing this to like shark movies that I've seen. And as far as like the main characters, the motivations, the twist with the best friend, um, and the main character having hearing loss and that kind of playing into the orca stuff, like it's fairly solid, but it did leave me wanting more. Like it's like they kind of had the spark of ideas there, but didn't really, I feel like, go all the way through with it. Like for example, um the I can't remember if I said my rating, but 7.25.
You did.
Okay. But like the her having a hearing aid, and hearing the high pitched noise whenever that orca was close.
It was interfering with the frequency.
Yes. I I don't know. I feel like they could have played around with it a little bit more. And it's like they tried to with her taking out the hearing aid and then like not being able to hear the thunder, or like whenever she is upset with her friend, she took out the hearing aid so that way, she couldn't hear her. So they definitely had the element there, but I don't know. I feel like with the orca itself, they could have done something a little bit more to kind of solidify the point of why they had a hearing aid in the movie in the first place. Also, I did like the twist with the friend. It's sad. Like you don't really like her as much anymore. But the pacing after that, like the pacing of the movie was pretty decent up to that point. And then whenever she does the big reveal, I feel like she went AWOL and went and died a little bit too quickly.
Like derailed the pacing of the movie a little bit.
I feel like even if they added like 5 to 10, maybe 15 more minutes, that would have helped the pacing a little bit and just have a little bit more. Because it was kind of frustrating to, well, not only like see her die so quickly afterwards, but her like And of course, I know, like, she was upset and she was kind of going crazy. They're both were kind of going crazy. And she was
Well, they're
kind of,
dehydrated out in the elements.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. But she was, like, explaining her plan to her friend and being like, okay, you swim here and this will save your life because I'm going to distract the whale. But it's like, but then she hops in the water, but she didn't actually tell the main character that. So it's like if you're going to be an idiot, at least actually legitimately try and save her life,
well, like, get
just
confirmation. I know that
yeah.
she thought that her friend was just mad at her and ignoring her and all, but when it's something this important, like, hey, I'm about to sacrifice myself for you.
But I don't think
Let me get confirmation.
I don't think she thought that because she saw her take her hearing aids out and put it on the rock. Like she knew that she couldn't hear anything.
I don't know. I interpreted it as time had passed. And so she thought it was back in again.
But there is no reason for her to put it back in. Like that just be not congruent with what they had shown us thus far. Because I mean, yeah, they showed that obviously time passed, but for the most part, anything substantial that happened, they would show. And so if she is putting her hearing aid back in, they would have shown that.
So I don't actually remember them showing us that she took it out, like the friend seeing her take it out and put it on the rock.
Yeah, because it was while like she was actually looking at her, and then she would, her the main character's face was turned away, and because the friend was facing her trying to say how sorry she was, and then that's when she took her hearing aids and put it on the rock, but she is very much to the side where she would be able to see that. And then the friend stopped talking. So it's like she very much knew that she took out. Yeah, but yeah, with all of that aside, the pacing from that scene forward just felt a little off. I mean, even after the friend died, I don't know, just
It was almost a little rushed, right?
yes, that it almost felt like, okay, we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah.
And the movie really, I mean, for modern movie standards, it's just your regular hour and a half. It's not that long.
Yeah, it's considered a relatively short movie by today's standards, so
Yeah, so it's like, if they had made it just a itty bitty bit longer, then I
yeah.
think that would have helped the pacing. Um, but I did really enjoy the backstory with the friend and the main character. I think that really gave some additional like oomph and depth and it, I guess the other thing that I kind of had a problem is they tried to be like, oh look, she's growing past this point and all of that, or going past the what happened, but I don't know. I mean, some of it I bought, like when they were trying to open up the clam or whatever thing that was.
that was a
But
claim.
but on the other hand, I don't know. It's like I felt like they could have done that a little bit better. The the CG is interesting. There
Was
were
not the best.
there were some scenes where the CG wasn't that bad, but overall the CG was not great.
Yeah, it definitely was not Lionsgate's best work. Not the best movie to come from them.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, it set my expectations really low in like the first scene when they show the whale. When it murks the
Yeah.
trainer that goes into the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's gonna be that kind of movie. Alrighty then.
Yeah. The beginning.
Expectation levels just gotta let's reset it down about here
Yeah.
and continue, shall
The
we?
the beginning scene honestly felt like a B movie.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like upped it a little bit with the backstory with the main
Just
character,
a
but it's
little,
still,
but not by
yeah, yeah,
much.
I
And
agree.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it's like overall, I feel like it's a pretty decent movie and they had a lot of really good ideas, but it just didn't quite reach, it didn't take those ideas to full flourish for me.
Yeah.
And the pacing towards the end was a little weird, but yeah, that's pretty much
The
my,
execution was off,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Um, I know I caught you while you're drinking, but what do you give the movie?
I give this movie a 6.5.
Oh,
It was all right. It was all right. I honestly didn't really feel like the hearing loss that, again, we'll get into in the realism, added anything to it, really. The only scene where it really made an impact was when the friend was trying to tell her of the plan, didn't get actual confirmation that the friend heard and understood the plan, and then was like, all right then, and just decided to yeet into the water on
yeah.
her own. So I feel like that was really the only scene that had real impact.
Yeah,
And because of that, like, you could have done literally anything else and
yeah.
it would have had about the same effect.
Honestly, I was kind of
So,
hoping because it kind of seemed like they were doing this in the beginning, but then they ended up taking a different way. But I was thinking that because maybe the orca could also hear the interference with the hearing aid, that maybe it would be like interested in
mhm.
her and not like be as violent or have as
Yeah.
many violent tendencies towards her. Like I thought they're gonna take
I
it
was
something like
hoping
that.
either that or a deterrent,
Yes,
almost
yes.
like in A Quiet Place. So, I was thinking it would go either way like that, but otherwise it had no bearing on the storyline whatsoever.
Yeah, because I mean, it told her when it got close, but it didn't seem like they were always consistent with
But
it going
they
off.
weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't consistent with it. And honestly, like, you could see the water was really clear, especially in that area. Like, you could see when it was nearby, or you should have been. They were really inconsistent with that too. And so, I mean, keep an eye out. The only time when you would have had trouble would have been like at night when it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It just a lot of it seemed like forced drama. Again, the big reveal, quote unquote, with the friend and the backstory with the boyfriend. It didn't add a whole lot in the grand scheme of the plot.
Well, I took it, it's like they're stuck on a rock. There wasn't a lot happening, so they had to escalate the movie somehow.
You're already potentially gonna die by a really pissed off killer whale. So I mean, or by exposure to the elements. They weren't able to signal anyone recently or anything. So like you're in danger either way. I don't feel like you had to take it to that point. And it just seemed like extra drama for the sake of it.
Mm.
Um it was just kind of a par movie. Not quite subpar, but just eh. It didn't really wow me with anything new or anything like that. I feel like they could have played around with several different elements a lot better. Um, like with the whole thing where it seemed kind of interested in her, in the main girl.
Mm-hmm.
And like you would catch a couple of scenes where it was just watching her.
Yeah.
So, but it attacks everyone else outright. So, like, they could have done a little bit more with that.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of things in realism that were just a big nope. And so this movie, I was just kind of taking it at face value, and it's all right. It's ultimately skippable. It doesn't have anything groundbreaking or anything like that. Again, it's not the best movie to come out of this studio. It's just
Yeah.
just eh.
So for realism, I do have a decent amount of notes for realism.
Okay.
So I will say, I don't know about you, but with them being on the rock and the friend scratching her leg, that gave me like hard, like Shallows vibes. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
like they're totally taking,
Yep.
yeah. Um,
I mean, it is still fairly realistic. Those rocks can be ridiculously sharp, and there are things on the rock, like the clam or like a sea urchin or barnacles, things like that, that can mess you up if you're like rubbing against it at all. So
yeah. Well, what I was trying to get at is like, this movie is kind of weird because there's some things that are like, okay, that is not realistic. But then they took the time to make like, I feel like a lot of the survival stuff was actually pretty decent. So,
yeah.
anyways, I'll start get down my list. So I gave it a
Sure. Yeah.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first, and maybe this is what would it be, constitution? Maybe it depends on the person's constitution, but I am
Mm-hmm.
surprised that she continued to work at the cafe where she not only got like robbed and attacked, but her boyfriend died in the parking lot. Like, oh, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do that. So it's interesting that she
You
continued to
wouldn't
do
catch
that.
me anywhere near there ever
Um,
again.
I will say it is realistic that the orca Ceto would be upset about her calf dying. Now they don't really share, like I think I based off of what they're saying in the story, like I think I buy the fact that it died, but it sounded like it was just either they neglected it or they just didn't do their due diligence to take care of it or something.
It sounded like they were playing with the idea or hinting at it was like potentially like the A word. Um,
I don't.
so they were hurting it.
Oh, okay.
And it potentially passed away of several different factors. They said that it passed away of pneumonia, but that also could speak to that in addition to tank conditions.
Yeah.
So, because they were clearly harming Ceto.
Yes.
Like she had scars from them.
Yeah.
So, and they said a few different characters said that they were using her as a broodmare, basically.
Yeah.
Like when they couldn't get much more use out of her, they were just forcing her to breed.
Which is funny because they say that, but then they had mentioned about her sitting in the tank and not really doing anything for a while. So I'm like, okay. Seems like they're not actually using her for breeding, and they did like a decade ago. It's like they kind of made it sound like
they
it.
could have, and then they could have tried several times again. And if she's just not having it, then
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Also, can we just talk about the fact that they wouldn't be able to get rid of her? Like,
Yeah.
okay, first of all, I mean, the company wasn't doing great. So,
But you know how big of an undertaking that would be
yes, that's why
to
it's
move
like,
a massive animal like that?
yeah, well, and then, okay, so even if she was causing a problem for people, she is also an asset to the company. And
Yes.
unfortunately, it's a living being, it's an animal, but from a company wide, it is an asset. And there is another company that would be willing to buy her to, for their own breeding program or for, aquarium or, whatever. It's like they're would be other companies, and that would make so much more sense too, rather than just like dumping her in the wild. And then of course the logistical, like they'd need a helicopter. It would not go unnoticed to see a giant orca in the sky being brought over the ocean.
Well, and it wouldn't necessarily be like a helicopter situation. But it would be a giant vehicle because they'd have to have like free flowing water. They'd have to sedate her heavily,
Yeah.
but also be able to monitor her.
Yeah, like it would be a team
And it's
effort.
just
And they made
so
it sound
if
like
they
it's the
were to
one guy.
release her and it was just like an overnight kind of thing, then I mean they were like right on the water, then they would have just opened a grate or something. Like open the fence and let her swim out.
Yeah, but
So
instead they went fairly far into the ocean to find the weird like rock circle place
so
and put.
that
It's
I
like,
wasn't
what?
sure about. Like we don't know exactly what they did to get rid of her, but I feel like they also wouldn't have necessarily put her in there specifically.
I mean, she is in there and she. Well, we'll
Yeah,
talk about
but
later in
I
our listen,
mean
but she couldn't get out.
they breach water all the time. They're part of the
Well,
porpoise family.
okay,
Like
okay. We're
they
we're
could have
talking
jumped in
about
there.
we're talking about that later. But
Okay.
that's because okay,
I don't know your list.
in the movie logic, she can't get out, which means that they would have had to put her in. And so, yeah, but yeah, well, okay, just going back down the list because that is one of the things. That is one of the things. Um, yeah, the main character felt super safe in the yellow float. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Whether it be a shark, whether it be an orca, not safe whatsoever. Maybe safer than swimming, but not safe. And I, no. Like, I love how it was almost like the floor is lava game where they're like, oh,
Yeah.
since we're not touching the water, we're safe. It's like, no, you are on a float. The float is easily poppable. Like, you are not safe.
The whale the thing barely needs to tap it for you to go wee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just yeet halfway several feet over into the water. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Also, I did watch The Friend closely, and the way that her leg went up, the cut didn't make sense. Like the way that it was, but also the cut and just because, like, I understand she is rushing, but when you're lifting yourself up and you know that you need to lift your leg over, it just doesn't seem like she would put that so much pressure that the cut would be that big on her leg. It just, like, I understand rocks can be sharp, and I agree with the main character's injury. Like, that makes sense because she couldn't see.
That was a puncture, yeah.
Yeah, oof. But I wasn't buying the leg thing.
Yeah. agree.
But I will say I looked up the plastic bag because I had not heard of that before, and that is a legit thing.
Yep.
Yep, the water from your breath like condenses or whatever, and that's what
Yeah.
makes it water. It's interesting.
Yeah.
What a terrible waiting game though for that little water, but I mean
It
it's
is.
something. It's something, but yeah.
And I feel like it created a bit more water than it should have also.
Really?
Yeah.
Um,
Personally, that, you know.
yeah. Okay, so okay, so I have multiple points, but they're kind of over the same thing. So I'll go over one last point, and then the second one I'll just go ham with. Yeah. So the next one is I know that the friend was upset. But yeah, and that's what I imagine. If she's going to do something crazy, she could at least have given her friend the heads up to swim in the area she suggested. It just, like, if you feel that terrible about what you did, like, at least make sure everybody's on the same page and has a game plan before you do something suicidal like that. It's just, just
Because at that point, it's just wasted.
yeah.
Just a wasted death to ease your conscience.
Yeah, for real. Like, it's more for you than it is for her type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, so was telling her at that point. I get it. I'm not saying I don't get it. I get it. But it was kind of more for her to get that off of her chest than to give the friend any kind of closure. Because honestly, the friend was already getting closure at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I still think that it's good that she told her because she deserved to know that. But yeah, I feel that where she is pressured, she is pressured from her own like guilt.
Yeah.
All right, so okay, we can talk about the fact that well, okay, so the biggest thing is there were so many times that the orca could have breached and gotten them.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it wasn't me, just me rather, the entire movie going, you are on a tiny ass rock. That thing could easily get you and think absolutely nothing of it.
Like, I was thinking in the wild, because, we see in like SeaWorld and stuff, they like go up and high and stuff. But I mean, in the wild, they normally will like slide up onto the beach and like drag their prey down and stuff. So it's like I could see it not like jumping like literally over the rock or whatever, unless if it was truly super motivated. But whenever it was like going up to catch them, it should have gotten way more out of the water with the amount of power. Like there were multiple times where it's like, no, like it would be so much higher out of the water and it would have grabbed them.
Yes.
Yeah, that just
that
so
rock
many
is
times.
Nothing to that orca.
Yeah, there's the first rock, there's the second rock, like there's the beach. I love how they're like still when she was on the beach, it's like the lava is like, oh, the water is lava, but it's like, no, orcas will literally go up on the beach, and that actually gets them in trouble because sometimes they'll get stuck and then they're screwed. But it's like the orca could have literally just gotten up on the beach and grabbed the friend.
Honestly, that's kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah, me too. And then when she's like,
just expecting you.
I know, yeah. And then when she's like, you're touching the water, I was like, really? This is what we're doing?
Like
also,
she was in danger no matter what in the middle of the sandbar. So
in the whole enclave that was trapped in, I would think that based off of like the tide, that it would eventually get to a point where it could just swim really fast and then be able to go over that little sandbar or whatever. And it's also interesting that they didn't really show the tide really impacting the water level of the rocks at all while they were in there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Even out at sea, the tide is still a thing.
Yeah. Yep. Because the moon doesn't go anywhere, or the sun. But yeah, that's what I got for realism.
So we were close. I got a 1.5
Okay.
for my score. So I'm not gonna lie, the whole robbery scene irked me to no end because one, the dude went in there without trying to cover any of his facial features.
Yeah.
Like if a person walks into a place with a pew pew to rob somewhere, then either one, they're going to make sure there are no witnesses, or two, they're exceptionally stupid. Because now you have witnesses that can easily identify you. And if there are any security cameras, you're going to get caught.
Plus I don't know, bringing a gun for a robbery of a cafe. I don't know. That's just a little intense
That was so
for
stupid.
what it
and
was.
Especially a shotgun. Like, really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, like, yes, they are incredibly loud, and yes, they can damage eardrums and all, but it's generally a temporary thing, not a permanent thing. So I wasn't sure if maybe they were trying to say it was psychosomatic or not. And like at the end when she's like actually hearing the thunder afterwards, like it's because she's getting over it or what. But I was going the entire movie like, how did she lose her hearing? Because I could understand it for a short time afterwards, but not that long.
Well, but I mean, it was like literally right next to her ear. Like, because what I've heard is,
It
you know,
happens all the time.
the people that like don't wear like the ear protection or whatever, and they're the ones that are shooting, then yeah, they might have temporary hearing loss, but it's not permanent. But I mean, if you're literally like right next, because it's a mini explosion that's happening, like that can totally
But
take
she was
out you.
also as far away as the other people were, and it didn't really sit right. It didn't really make that much sense to me. And just from what I had read and what I had heard, I'm like that shouldn't still be going on unless it was psychosomatic. Could be wrong. Could have been a freak thing, like a 1 in a million thing. But it just seemed like a movie's got a movie. We're going to shoehorn this plot point in kind of thing. Then they chase the guy out of the place. And the guy decides after he's already getting away in the pickup to then run the boyfriend over.
Yeah, and I was trying to
What's the logic behind that?
I saw the guy driving one way. It says like, did he drive all the way around the building?
He made a circle.
Yeah, and then I mean,
Like
I have my own
around.
I have my own complaints about the boyfriend just like standing
in the middle of
yeah.
the parking lot.
Yeah. But
instead of grabbing it and bringing her inside, hey, let's call PD. Also, here's your necklace back.
Yeah. Yeah, I had thought about that too.
That whole scene, that entire scene, I'm like, this is unnecessary and dumb. And why would you come back specifically to hit him?
I guess like revenge.
Mad, but
yeah, revenge for the guy
was
like
it
hurting
worth
him.
All that?
Yeah, it's like now you get to go to prison.
Congratulations. That could now potentially be first degree.
Yeah, because there's no.
Because you had time. You had time to leave and you specifically thought about it, came back, and did it.
Yeah, because there's no way that the guy didn't get caught because he would have blood all over his truck. He wouldn't be able to clean all of that.
And the chick can identify him.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised that the friend didn't get caught. Like, he didn't throw her under the bus.
You know, that's a good point. She should have gotten caught up in that.
So there are situations where I can see it wouldn't happen. But generally speaking, the ones I'm thinking of at least, they wouldn't say anything because either they have something else on them or he's really, really, really into her.
That would do it. Yeah.
And is just keeping his mouth shut for her sake. So, but yeah, that whole scene, I'm just like, no. Yeah. And I agree. You could not catch me near that place again ever, probably.
Yeah.
Then I could see her friends getting lucky and going big on socials, and getting out of debt that way and all. She'd really have to hustle to get it. It's a lot of work. But I could see that, and then part of her guilt, but also trying to help her friend, paying for the trip completely to help her move on and take her mind off it a little bit too, and just have some fun, get back to how they used to be. I don't believe that the place would be that easy to break into.
Yeah.
I know they weren't doing well, but I feel like that place was far too easy to break into than it should have been. And then them moving her, I took it as they dumped her near that area and she found a way in. I didn't see it as she was necessarily trapped there, because that didn't make sense to me. Why would they have put her specifically there? That would have been a huge, like, crowbar, movie's got a movie, let's shoehorn this in here kind of thing. Because it just... No. And she could have found a way out, one way or another. Like you said, tides, but also they can breach. And they're actually really intelligent. Like, she would have figured it out. And first priority would probably be, like, finding a pod as well. But
I mean,
apart from food, obviously, but
because I know each pod of orcas can have almost like their own language. So I mean, it's almost like going to a different country where it's like, so that could potentially be a death sentence for her.
Maybe, but they also don't tend to do well solitary.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't going to do well either way, but yeah.
And then attacking the jet ski, I could see that she's PO'd it at humans. I do appreciate that they mention a couple of times in the movie that there haven't actually been any, like, recorded
wild orca
killings in the wild. It's only really in, like, a captive setting. Now they will attack boats.
But it's only a specific...
They don't kill the people. And it's like a specific area and a specific type.
Yeah.
And it's because they were wronged and they're now teaching their descendants. F those in particular. Yeah. Which I honestly find hilarious. And they're also, like, chasing out great whites from certain areas too.
Poor great whites.
Like great whites will give certain areas a very wide berth.
Oh yeah, because like orcas will like be like, you know, F your liver in particular, and then that's all they'll eat.
Just the liver. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
They'll eat like the one organ out of it and just leave the rest to rot. So yeah, I do appreciate that they did mention that, like, normally in the wild, they do not attack people. They're actually really, really intelligent. They tend to avoid people for the most part. But in captivity, obviously, it's a wild animal. There are situations where something's going to happen at some point.
Well, I have heard that they will go up to people though because they're curious.
Sometimes.
But
they're generally not, like, it really depends on the situation as well. Like I said, they're intelligent. So yeah.
Yeah. It's like, to me, I don't care whether or not there has been a documented orca attack in the wild. I would I would not be a happy camper if I was swimming and some orcas were near me. I would be trying to get out of the water as quickly as possible.
I would have many concerns.
Yes. Because they're
and
huge.
I would try to,
and a problem.
like, I would try to carefully and as non-threatening as I could make myself and non-panicky as I could make myself vacate the water. They're gorgeous, amazing animals. But that is their territory.
Have a healthy sense of
yes.
respect and fear for them.
Exactly. I would love to observe them from afar, from a safe location, because that is their home and we are visitors there. And I would like to not overstay my welcome.
Yeah. Yep. But
I believe they were not, the girls, getting back to realism and all, I believe they were not as sunburned as they should have been. The elements are very harsh when you're surrounded by salt water and sun and nothing else. Like no shade, nothing. They had cut up the one wetsuit they seemed to have between the two of them in order to bind certain wounds. So they weren't really getting much in the way of protection there. They didn't have extra sunscreen with them or anything. So, and that can only do so much anyway. So, no. Again, I feel like they got more water in that bag than it really would have been. I could be wrong. I wouldn't mind trying that kind of experiment at some point just to see. But it just seemed a little sus. I feel like the orca would have been trying a little harder to get at him and to hound them a little more. I can see it playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, they are intelligent and they do some messed up stuff in the wild sometimes with other animals. So
yeah,
I could easily see it playing around with them in a somewhat dark and twisted way. But it definitely would have been able to get them at any time, literally any time. They were in constant danger and were honestly just lucky that it was like, nah, I'm good. Because no.
Yeah.
I can agree with the boat and the plane and all not noticing them and turning around and coming towards them or anything, because they're further than they look.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if you're yelling at a plane, they're not going to hear you. Period. End of. You got to have some kind of big signal for them to be able to see it from the air, because they're not going to hear you. And honestly, even with a big signal, it's going to be pure luck if they see it.
Yeah.
Like, they'd have to be looking in that area at the exact right time. So, no. I also feel like they didn't try a whole lot to come up with ideas about how to get off the rock
Yeah, they kind of
and get out of
accepted
there.
it and waited for rescue.
They were waiting so long without even attempting to talk out any kind of game plan.
Yeah.
The ocean's a really freaking big place. It covers like 70% of the earth. So finding two young girls in an area like that, like, you're gonna have to rely on some luck. But you're gonna have to come up with a much better plan than just waving your arms and shouting, because that's not gonna do much. They used up the flashlight battery way too fast. And also, I don't know about your LED flashlights, but that is not how mine typically go out. They don't like flash a few times and then go out. That's
Yeah. Well, and then
they
like
get dimmer and dimmer and then just stop eventually.
yeah. Or there's even the fancy flashlights that have like multiple tiny bulbs.
Yeah.
But I know
And it
there
looks like
are.
that kind.
Yeah.
So no. I also counted off for their phones. Like I didn't count off for hers because they made it very, very clear that hers was definitely not waterproof. So that made sense. But the friends, yes, you can submerge it for a short amount of time, but that thing was in the water for a couple of days. No.
Yeah.
There were a few other nitpicky things like the CG related and all, and they could not, for the life of them, decide how the dorsal fin was going to look. In some
Yeah.
scenes, it was curved almost like Free Willy, and in others, it was like actual straight normal dorsal fin. So pick one.
Also, I forgot to mention this. I want to get your thoughts. I thought like they kept on mentioning, oh, you know, she's upset because she still thinks she's trapped and blah 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 blah. So I thought when they made it to the sandbar that they were going to try and dig the sand and like have enough of a path for her to go through, but they didn't. They didn't really try to help her at all. They're just I don't know. It's like that was one thing that I feel like they should have taken the movie that they just never went with. I'm like, that makes sense though.
And it would have been a good bonding moment too for the two girls to work together on that project to free Sito and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it just
It had so much potential.
they could have done so many other things to elevate it more or make it more realistic or better, and it just no. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of these things with seals.
Like
Have
sea
you seen
lions?
orcas with seals
Ooh,
or sea lions?
there.
They will launch the thing into the air with their tail. So that's honestly what I was imagining the entire time they were on that float. Was, well, here comes the tail.
Yeah,
These girls are about to learn how to fly.
Yeah, the filmmakers, it didn't seem like they didn't look up any videos of orcas attacking, which would have really helped.
Or hunting.
Yeah.
Or doing anything, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's mostly what I got. A lot of it was just nitpicky. Honestly, almost the entire movie, I was like, no. 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 Not how that would work.
Well, it's just so ironic that the survival stuff for the most part was like decent, but then the actual orca, like what the movie is about. It's like none of it was really that realistic.
Yep.
And then like whenever the orca like popped up for the rain, it's like I don't know. It just
Just to stare at her.
yeah. Well, and then like how still it was.
Yeah.
It's like no, it would be moved. I don't know. It was yeah.
Yeah. CG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's mostly a nope. And the scenario is kind of dumb, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
But
That's what I got.
well, thank you for joining us today and let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord server. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support the podcast, please subscribe, like, and share our content. We also have a Teespring and a PayPal donate button if you'd like to support us monetarily. And again, you can find all of those sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy.
Bye.